What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we have a quick video talking about some updates coming to the Destiny 2 weapon system, and they're potentially big updates. Now, this information trails the massive development update that we got about a day or so ago. Highly recommend you check that out. Either watch my video on it or a different video or read it yourself, but make sure you do know that information because this trails off of that information. Now, this new information happened late last night from the Twitter account of Christopher Barrett. He is the game director at Bungie, so he's very high up on the food chain. This isn't just some random employee. This is a big guy at Bungie. Christopher Barrett was actually the person around just before Christmas who tweeted out the information and teased this big update that we did get recently and talked about some of the changes that were coming. So he is a good source of kind of what's in the pipeline for Destiny 2 updates. Now, here's exactly what he says. The first tweet reads, "Destiny 2 needs more weapons that matter, both in power and the hunt to acquire them. Exotics need to live up to their name. The most skillful or visceral weapons like snipers, shotguns, and fusion rifles need to return to glory. We're on it." He then replies to his previous tweet saying, "This might not have come across strong enough in the update. The Sandbox team is an amazingly talented group and we are hard at work on changes." So, a little bit of background and context before we move forward. One of the main complaints about Destiny 2, and this isn't just my opinion, this is echoed by other content creators, streamers like King Gathalion was talking about this a couple days ago, is that Destiny 2 feels slow and it's a little boring because it lacks that power fantasy. In PvE and in PvP, you don't have access to something like a sniper and a machine gun, which, of course, in PvP, all of those 6 sniping montages, there isn't that many of them this time around. And in PvE, of course, your power potential goes way down. Again, this is a main complaint leveled by many members of the community. So, with that out in the ether, it's very interesting to see this tweet. And here's why. With this tweet, a lot of people have been speculating that potentially special weapons might be making a return. He says the most skillful or visceral weapons like snipers, shotguns, and fusion rifles need a return to glory. That's very interesting because snipers, shotguns, and fusion rifles, along with sidearms, were the special weapons in Destiny 1. Now, of course, sidearms made the switch to primary weapons essentially, and that makes sense. But if he's outlining, hey, everything that used to be a special weapon, those need to come back into the fold. Now, it's one thing to say that about snipers, but we have some actually really powerful shotguns and fusion rifles that see a decent amount of use in PvP and in PvE. Like in PvE, I'm talking about the Merciless fusion rifle is everywhere, and even some legendary fusion rifles are quite good. Shotguns and certain exotic shotguns are used quite a bit. The new Perfect Paradox shotgun and the Hawthorne's Feel Forward shotguns, these are things that I'm sure you guys either use or see quite a bit in the PvE environment. Now in PvP, yeah, shotguns aren't being used that much because right now the meta is to use a rocket launcher. So, looking at this quote and then looking at the metas, and like I said, some of these weapons are pretty highly used, you could make the argument that by him saying they need a return to glory, he's not talking about power, he's talking about accessibility and the fact that you can use these weapons at a regular basis. That is really interesting. Now, is this possible, right? Because, again, this is something a lot of people are talking about, this is something that a lot of people have speculated on, but is it something that's realistic? Well, to be quite honest, if I saw this and I heard that argument a few weeks ago, I would have said no. I would have said, come on guys, special weapons are never coming back, get over it. But a few weeks ago, if someone said the same thing about 6v6, my response would have been the same. Come on, 6v6 isn't coming back, get over it. But guess what? 6v6 is returning, Rumble is returning, exotics are being made a lot more powerful apparently. These are some big changes that hugely deviate from where Bungie was only a few months ago with the start of Destiny 2. Guys, you can go back and watch interviews with Bungie devs and they say, listen, will there be any 6v6 playlist? And the Bungie devs say, no, we are committed to 4v4. We're not doing 6v6 at all. Fast forward a few months of complete chaos and guess what? We're back to 6v6. So it's not that crazy anymore to think that Bungie may backtrack and may reintroduce special weapons. That would really shake up the game. Right? Like a lot of people say the game needs a big change to move forward. That would be an incredibly big change. It would change everything. PvP would be totally different. PvE would be totally different. And it would really kind of, I think, ignite the fire of excitement for people coming back to Destiny 2. I'm sure a lot of people who left Destiny 2, if they completely changed the weapon system, that would be a reason to come back. So that is a point in being legitimate, that maybe special weapons either are coming back or at least Bungie is looking at them. But let's say that's not the case because we don't know for sure, right? Let's say that's not happening at all. It's still an interesting tweet saying that sniper shotguns and fusion rifles are going to see a significant increase in lethality within the coming few months, hopefully. And even if just that happens, that's going to be a very interesting change. Like we've said, there's really good guns in each of these categories already entrenched in PvP and PvE metas. So those getting a boost, like that's going to shake things up. If sniper rifles actually become really good again in PvP, if they don't have so much flinch when you like breathe on them, then we're going to have a pretty different PvP environment. And the PvE like drop off from changes made even for PvP reasons, if those 3 weapon categories are made more powerful. Expect, again, even if you're a PvE minded player, expect your meta to change as well. The Perfect Paradox, the Hawthorne's Field Forward shotguns, if they're buffing shotguns, the PvE players are going to ride that wave and we could have some pretty interesting and very powerful weapons at our disposal. So, in any event, that's what I wanted to showcase today. This information about the direction Bungie is taking weapon bounce. Regardless of what actually happens, if special weapons are reintroduced, I think it's less likely, but again, anything's possible with this new Destiny 2 landscape, frankly. Or if these weapons are made significantly better, it's going to be some interesting changes nonetheless. Guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.